Okay, als, wenn, und wann, all of three of them mean when, but there's a big difference. So the question today is, was ist der Unterschied? What's the difference? Als, wenn, and wann, they are all three used as subordinating clauses, meaning, like in here I've got the verbs underlined. They do kick the verb to the end. So, wenn ich Zeit habe, habe gets kicked to the end of that subordinating clause. Same thing here. Ich weiß nicht, wann anfängt. Anfängt gets kicked to the end. And here, als ich in Paris war gets kicked to the end of that. So they're all three used as subordinating clauses. Or can be used as subordinating clauses. Wann is also a question word used in just plain questions. So this is where we're going to start. This is the one that you probably have already used quite a lot already. It is a question word. Whenever you can substitute the words in at what time, and you're telling, for example, at what time some event might happen, that's when you're going to use wann. So for example, wann fängt der Unterricht an? When does the class begin? Or when does the lecture begin? Ich weiß nicht, wann anfängt. So in this case, I've also used it as a subordinating clause. I don't know when it begins. So just remember, if you're using it as a subordinating clause, it's got to kick that verb to the end. Okay, now usually people have the most trouble with als und wenn, distinguishing between those two. What I'm going to say about that is als is one time, one event. It often uses simple past, and it describes just one event in the past. For example, als ich in Paris war, habe ich in einem gemütlichen Café gegessen. When I was in Paris, I ate in a very comfy cafe. So what you may be thinking is, well, when I was in Paris, isn't that a long time? Yes, but it's still one event. It's one trip to Paris. Now, if you have multiple trips, let's say you go there all the time, that's when you would use wenn. So wenn is the word when, but it's multiple events, multiple times. I'm also going to say you could define it as if, whenever, and we know whenever kind of signifies that we're doing something more than once. Or just when, but it is multiple times, multiple events. So my example here, wenn ich Zeit habe, spiele ich Videospiele. When I have time, I play video games. In other words, whenever. Whenever out of all the times. Or if. If you can put the words if or whenever in there, then it's going to be wenn. I believe that's about it for now. There are maybe a few times you could argue whether it would be one or the other. Mostly I would say the deciding factor there is it multiple times or is it one time? And if you can answer that question, you can distinguish between als und wenn. Okay, bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.